squad and open house. As I said, I'm going to be talking a little bit on the history of Civil Air Patrol. Civil Air Patrol, coming this December, is going to be entering its 70th year of service. That's a pretty long time for an organization to be around. So, Civil Air Patrol first started in World War II. It started beginning with the Atlantic threat of German submarines off the U.S. coast. The German U-boats began targeting United States supply ships and naval vessels. After this, civilian groups began organizing to protect American shipping vessels and personnel. A combination of efforts between Gilroy Wilson and the New York State and New York Mayor, Fiorello LaGuardia, proposed an idea to Congress for a civilian coastline defense force to protect against the German U-boats. After that, the Civil Air Patrol was born. On December 1st, 1941, the Civil Air Patrol was formed. 6 days later, the December 7th attack on Pearl Harbor by the Japanese occurred. In the following months, over 40,000 volunteers joined the Civil Air Patrol to help protect the United States against the German threat. Thousands of volunteers, as I said, joined the Civil Air Patrol. Everyone from regular citizens to some Hollywood stars at the time. I personally don't know many of these names, but perhaps you will. Ed actress Mary Astor, members of the DuPont family, George Hathaway, and artist Dan Malcolm, who was responsible for creating a lot of Civil Air Patrol comics for newspapers during the time for recruiting purposes. The subjugation phase of the Civil Air Patrol began. Civil Air Patrol was given 90 days from the beginning to prove that it was worth keeping around. The aircraft it had consisted of civilian-built aircraft that had over 90 horsepower. Some of these were home-built, some of these were for civilian use. CAP's mission was to spot and deter enemy U-boats. They also assisted in U.S. ships in distress, located any mines, helped rescue shipping personnel, and more than that. By the end of World War II, 90 Civil Air Patrol aircraft were destroyed, and 59 volunteer pilots were lost. Civil Air Patrol today is very proud to earn the first medal of World War II. The first medals given out during World War II for air rescue were to a Civil Air Patrol pilot crew for the rescue of one of the downed flyers. These medals were presented by the U.S. President personally to the pilots. Civil Air Patrol until this point was not allowed to carry weapons, as it was still a civilian branch and not part of the military. They were not permitted to carry munitions. This changed after a German U-boat was spotted stranded on a sand dune and was stranded there for 45 minutes as CAP's aircraft circled above. Because they were not armed, they couldn't do anything, and the U-boat escaped. Generals of the U.S. Army Air Corps were infuriated by this, and after that, allowed Civil Air Patrol to carry 100 and 325-pound explosives on their aircraft. Over the war, CAP was credited for flying over 24 million over-water miles, spotted 173 German U-boats, attacked 57 of them, damaged 17, and sank 2. CAP was also credited for the rescue of 363 survivors of ship attacks, reported 91 vessels in distress, and found 17 floating mines off the coast of the United States. Towards the end of World War II, the German U-boat threat started to recede. By the summer of 1943, the German U-boat operations were moved into the mid-ocean to fight other conflicts. After the war, German naval officials were stated that Civil Air Patrol was one of the main reasons for the retreat of the German U-boats. Altogether, CAP personnel, volunteer personnel, spent over $1 million of their own money to help bring the forefront of World War II to the coast of the United States and protect the homeland. Post-World War II. After World War II, CAP pilots and personnel continued to stay in use. They flew mainly for national defense purposes. They took place in main missions, including civil defense missions, target towing for target practice for Air Force personnel, currying between naval and air bases, protecting forest and forest fires and natural disasters, search and rescue operations, and mock air raids to help improve the military response to threats. October 1st, 1942, the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program began. What it is today, it was a lot different. Civil Air Patrol, when it first started, was still one of the major missions in training new cadets. It developed leadership, aerospace education, and later on emergency services. Civil Air Patrol on July 4th, 1946 was created by Public Law 476 as a patriotic and educational organization. At this point, the U.S. Air Force was not separated from the U.S. Army Air Corps. But in 1947, the independent U.S. Air Force was created, and in 1948, less than a year later, the United States Air Force Auxiliary was given to the Civil Air Patrol. Now we're stepping into the Cold War. As the Cold War progressed, the aviation industry expanded. And with that expanding in the aviation industry also was the need for search and rescue operations for downed aircraft. CAP naturally jumped on this opportunity. Also during the Cold War, the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program helped develop America's youth into strong leaders. CAP today holds one of the world's largest fleet of modern Cessna aircraft, as well as many other aircraft. Civil Air Patrol takes place in homeland security operations, search and rescue operations, such as 9/11 and natural disasters, such as the Pine Barren Fire and such. Today, the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program involves 250,000, today actually over 250,000 cadets in a structured program consisting of aerospace education, leadership development, and good citizenship, including volunteer service. So from the start of World War II up till today, Civil Air Patrol has had a very unique history, which is part of what makes it such a great organization that it is today. All the experiences that it's had since the beginning of its creation, December 1st, 1941, has definitely played into